You are live.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you know what I thought? I had a quick look, and it said that there were 26 people waiting. And I thought, and 26 people are sat there looking at like all these men, so they must want to look at them. So I thought, for the first bit, we'd put them on.
I'm just wondering why you're judging everybody else by your standards.
Look, for me, it's like looking in a mirror.
Oh, my word. Oh, God. Press the Good evening, welcome to Raconteurs News. Did that work for you, Jace?
Not at all. Not a single bit. I think I got a few.
Right, okay. It's the music thing, but hey, it is what it is. Well, we'll better cover the birthday thing first, don't we? 50.
Yeah, 50 years old. I had a pretty decent day yesterday. I got a cake. God, you won't believe the size of this fucking. My missus, just on the off chance in the morning, asked one of her distant relatives if she could make me a cake, and Jesus Christ, the cake was diabetes on a cake tray. Really,
I think the best cake. Actually, she might be listening tonight. Leslie, a really good friend of mine, really good friend, Kev, and his amazing wife, Leslie. Our boy, did they look after me when I was all smashed up after motorbike accidents. And part of what Leslie does for income, she makes wedding cakes, but I mean, like works of art. Well, because on my biker mate, my nickname was Arse, as in shithole, right? She made me a cake, huge thing, right, and it was shaped like an arse. So all the nurses in the hospital were eating arse-shaped cake.
Well, cake's cake, man. It doesn't matter what shape it is.
Cake's cake.
You could have Jeffrey Weinstein cake.
Oh no.
Well,
we'll not go there tonight. Listen. I've got a shitload of stuff to go through. So do you want to start, or do you want me to start? What do you want to do, mate? You can tell we don't rehearse this, can't you?
Well, there were just one or two things I wanted to say. I wanted to say thank you to a few people who've got in touch with me. Obviously, thanks to everyone who wished me an happy birthday. But I think probably on Facebook, one of the most boring and unimaginative things that people put on Facebook is "Thank you for my birthday wishes." So I wrote a little bit more than that. What were the fucking dogs bit me? Look, tonight as well. Look on my hand. Look at my hand there. I've got a plaster. I've got a plaster on my hand. The fucking dog bit me. We were fleeing him, the little bastard. So he's in. He's not in the good books. But anyway, what I thought we'd do tonight is as you said, you've got a load of stuff that you wanted to go through, and we're going to go through that, and then into the second hour, we're going to invite a few people on. We're going to have a bit of a round table. I've already asked Owen Lloyd Martin in Portugal. And he'll come on, so we'll get a bit of a round table going in the second period, if we get a chance, because you know what Eddie's like. But Eddie's got a load of stuff that he wants to go through. So, Ed, let's have it over to you.
Yeah, part of basically is, how can I put it? The other night we'd got some comments, and one was, why would you have a guest on and then try and argue for time with him? And I get that. I think what happened the other night on Monday with Bex was she got a load of info, I got a load of info. We're both really wound up, and we just ended up bouncing. And anyway, we should have done that as two different shows. And for the people who put the notes in the chat room, you're absolutely right. That's what we should have done, and that is what we'll do the next time. Because Bex and Karen always bring us good info. Anyway, the other comment, I just want to cover one quick one from Bandit Buster. I don't know if Bandit Buster's internet. I've not had a quick. Oh yeah, here we go. Bandit Buster. This is what Bandit Buster put as a question at the end of Monday. If it's all fake, why doesn't Russia or some other rogue entity expose this? Are they in on it too? And where are Anonymous? Haven't they got anything to share? Right. Okay. This is quite simple. All of those questions are relevant if you believe that power stops with government. However, governments don't make money. They don't manufacture it. They're not in charge of it. So it's the people that are in charge of the money that are in charge of the world. So that's why, like, it don't matter where you draw a border or what organization you get in or anything. It's the people who supply the money that are basically, they're the ones that are in charge, which is what we're finding out now. Anyway, that's the last thing I want to do about that bit. It was just a couple of comments that we had that I wanted to go over. What I don't want to do is just go through everything I went through the other night pointlessly, but I have got other things that tie in with it. So I am going to be rushing through some of the stuff that I pulled out about this Dr. Buttar, okay? Just for those that are not aware, Dr. Buttar, top 50 doctors in America, best-selling author, immunization doctor, autism doctor. AskDrButtar.com. Go and click on it, have a look for yourself. Anyway, this is what some of the things that he said. There was a moratorium in 2014 for trying to get coronavirus and trying to get it to be more powerful by mixing it with SARS, HIV, etc. That stopped 2014. 2015, Dr. Fauci sent 3.75 million to Wuhan in China. Okay? So whether this virus is real or not, don't know. It's just information. Right. He also said at Fauci in 2017, the president will face a pandemic. Well, the fucking hell did he know? But anyway. Sorry, I'm reading notes here. The other things he said, no virus can jump 6 feet, 12 feet, 13 feet. I've actually heard another good one today. Another doctor. This is Dr. Kaufman, who has actually been fired from his little part-time job that he had, but he'd not got a lot left. And he basically said wearing a mask is a bit like putting a chain link fencing up around your garden and hoping it stops mosquitoes. So, which I thought was quite a good analogy, really. When Kaufman has been on about other doctors, and everybody's been saying, why are other doctors not coming forward with this? He said it's quite easy. Most doctors have got to study for that long. The amount of debt they leave once they qualify as a doctor is immense. You know, the amount of debt they've got. So for them to actually step forward and say what they feel rather than what they're supposed to say is a big ask. I mean, you know, keeping quiet and not saying anything is a big influencer when your mortgage payment relies on that and your family rely on that. You know, again, just put it out there. Just a couple of other things he said. The fundamental aspects of how the human system works is being ignored. Physiology and every aspect of virology and infections, diseases is being ignored. Koch's postulates, which is the way they actually isolate germs, etc., and find out whether it's that's causing illness, that's all being ignored. So there's all these medical stuff that's being ignored. I am coming to a point, don't worry. Okay? We know that doctors have been told to change or to to write down COVID-19, even if it's not that's caused the death. And one thing that did sort of come out of the stuff that I've been watching and reading today was when they come up with this vaccination, again, I'm going to come on to the vaccines again in a minute. When they come up with this vaccination, all the people that are going to be vaccinated are probably people who they're like in a win-win situation. Because if a load of people die, they'll say, oh, look, we need to give everybody vaccines to stop this happening again. And if a load of people don't die, it'll be, oh, look, the vaccines are working. Everybody else needs to have it. So whatever happens, they're in a win-win situation. But I'm going to come on to the vaccine in a minute because I've been looking at some of the stuff. I've had loads of people send me stuff today. I was going to have a complete day off. That didn't happen. Right. Nobody has yet demonstrated a single death from actual virus using the proper established methodology that a virus has caused a death. It's all based on RT-PCR testing. So if we've got a test that doesn't test, all the figures are wrong. But if you actually look at the figures of people who are dying since January the 1st this year, and then look at it, and I'm not asking you to listen to the news, I mean actually go look at it, the official figures, less people are dying. Anyway, that can't justify that. Oh yeah, in 1981, Dr. Fauci was the guy who decided that AIDS was something you could catch. But this was 3 years before it was even established as anything. He was the one pushing it all forward so you could sell them drugs, and of course, 1984 was when HIV was actually designated as a disease, if you like, which also happened to be the same time when there was a TB outbreak. And one thing that about 5 different doctors have all sort of confirmed, things that I've looked at today, the only things that are absolutely air transmittable, as far as these 5 doctors know, is smallpox, Ebola, and wait for it, TB. Now, he said, if you cough and splutter and the sputum or saliva, yes, you could get something carried with that. But actual airborne, there's only 3 apparently: smallpox, Ebola, and TB. So, what's the point of wearing a mask? Anyway, so I don't want to just whiz through. I don't just want to put stuff in. Here we go. Right.
Don't worry. Let's just interject. Right, we're on Raconteurs News. We started at 8:30 tonight, and because Aid's got like a ton of stuff that he needs to get out there. Hopefully, in the second hour, which will be about 9:30, but we'll go as long as we want, can't we? So as long as we've got stuff to talk about, we can go. And I think Aid, you're just killing it, mate. Go on, keep going.
What I've noticed about Dr. Buttar and Dr. Kaufman is when it comes to radio frequency, they do have differing opinions, although they will both talk about it. But they do have different opinions. And go look for yourself. Don't let me just be a repeater. That's not what I want to do. Point you in the direction of the stuff that I found helpful. Yeah, but right, let's have a look. What was the other bit? That's gone past that. It was this. Right. And I want to thank my mate Don for some of this. There's that bloody much. Hang on a minute. Right. Excuse me. Right, here we go. What we're going to do about it. I want tonight to kind of be how we're going to move forward and what we're going to do. I mean, me for one, I'm not going to be acquiescing to this anymore. This shit come through my bloody door today. Part of it's green, so it's a bit weird. But stay at home, protect the NHS, save lives. Listen to this. joinedupcarederbyshire.co.uk. Joined up writing. Listen, children.
Joined up so that you can all get into a phone situation where you're all talking to each other in like a group phone call, and you can all masturbate at the same time.
It's just, yeah, but the word joined up care, it's like putting you into that children's mental state, isn't it? Right, okay. I want to look at a Here we go. Lord Tony Hall. I want to thank Teresa for some of this, all this information. I just want to go to this. Hang on a minute. Where is he? Is it that one? I've got 3 tabs open on me. All right, okay. Lord Tony Hall. This is the guy who's in charge of the BBC, but he has said earlier on in the year that he's going to be leaving in June. Now, he thinks he's leaving the BBC in better shape than he found it. Well, he's leaving it with less people paying the fucking TV license, that is for sure. Anyway, it was pointed out to me today that he's also the president for the European Broadcasting Union. So the guy who's in charge of the BBC, in other words, in charge of what you see on the news, is also president of the European Broadcasting Union. So there's no wonder we're not seeing anything about what's going on all over Europe on the news or anything that might make us want to actually stop being 2 meters apart and actually go out and ignore all this shit. Same in America. The reason they've been getting away with it is because they're all armed. So the coppers can't just say, you lot go home, you lot. They've all got a gun in their pocket. So we're not being told what's happening. In America, well, we're getting a little bit of that. But, you know, what are we going to do when you got, you know, people like Fauci coming up with all these things that he's involved in? And then, you know, and you look at Bill Gates. Apparently, I haven't checked this out. This was told to me, so I thank you for the information, but I can't confirm this. Bill Gates and his cronies bought a load more GlaxoSmithKline shares on the 31st of March. Well, apparently on the British Vaccine Board, again, I've not confirmed this, there are 37 members. 35 of them are either funded, have been funded, or have worked directly for Bill Gates. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Then I come on to this bit. Sir Patrick Vallance. Now, I'm reading this off my tablet. This is on the website gov.uk/government/people/Patrick Vallance. Okay? Right, I'm going to try and read this. Oh, and of course, you get the coronavirus, COVID-19, what you need to do, the fear page that comes up. But once you flick past that, I'm just going to read the first few lines. Government Chief Scientific Advisor and Head of Government Science and Engineering Profession, Sir Patrick Vallance. Okay? Biography. Sir Patrick Vallance, and then all these letters after his name, is Government Chief Scientific Advisor and Head of the Government Science and Engineering Profession. Okay? Here in the UK. His personal research was in the area of diseases of blood vessels and, hang on a minute, endothelial biology. Okay. So good so far. So far, so good. Now we get personal. Patrick was President, Research and Development at GlaxoSmithKline from 2012 until 2017. Prior to this, he was Senior Vice President, Medicines Discovery and Development. He joined the company in May 2006 as Head of Drug Discovery. Now, this man, who is clearly well in bed with Bill Gates and Fauci, is the Government Chief Scientific Advisor. You are paying his wages when you pay your taxes. How fucking clear could this be? Unbelievable.
Couldn't be any clearer than that, Aid. And I commend you for being...
You know, the other thing I've looked at, apparently they're doing fucking... This is idiotic. They're doing vaccine trials. And I'll fucking hell. Talk about blood boiling. They're doing these vaccine trials in Oxford, at Oxford University. Yeah, can't remember how many million quid it is that Bill Gates gives them every year. So he's in the pockets of the British Vaccine Board. He's in the pockets at GlaxoSmithKline. He's got a history of lying to you so that you've got to buy his antivirus shit on his computers. He's funding the stuff at Oxford. I mean, for me, the way forward with all this is for everybody just to make an absolute, like they have been on social media and everything, but everybody just come out and say, we don't trust Gates, we don't trust Fauci, and because of that, we don't trust what we're being told. And let the others come back with the evidence, because they're not giving us evidence. You know, they're supposedly doing vaccine trials for something they haven't even got a test for. Well, that's like me fixing a puncture I haven't fucking got, and then telling you because my tire's still up, it worked. I mean, am I missing something? I don't think I am. I really don't think I am. But yeah, talk about make your blood boil. Right, okay, I've got a couple of other things that I want to go through on here. What was this one? Oh yeah, this is just the Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunisation. And again, this is the gov.uk website. I mean, go look for yourself. It's not, you know, it's there. And there's all these list of people. Two of them I've met. Not for anything like this, but yeah, two of them I've actually met a long time ago, but two of them. And when you actually start to look at who these people are, I mean, I only had a chance to look at 3 or 4. And they're all linked back straight to Gates, straight to Glaxo, straight to Gates. You know, it literally is the Bill Gates. This is the Bill Gates rolling out everything for the New World Order. That's what it is. Anyway, I want to thank Teresa for sending me this. Oh, hang on a minute. Where we go? All right. Now, I'm going to be reading this. This is on thefreedomarticles.com. Which to me looks like an American site. There's all sorts of things for you to donate and yada, yada, yada. But it calls itself Alternative Media / Independent News. Okay. Now, at the bottom of this article, there are links to all of the information that's in it. Okay. There must be, 15 different papers that this is going to refer to. But I'm not going to read it all, but this is published about 20 hours ago, yesterday, by Makia Freeman, who I don't know if it's a lady or a man. But anyway, here we go. They planned and prepared for the coronavirus decades in advance. The infrastructure has been clearly set up over the last 2+ decades to ensure that when Operation Coronavirus went live, all the pieces would be in place to bamboozle and enslave people, forcing them into a place where they would gladly accept or even beg for mass vaccination. You know, that's what's happening. Operation Coronavirus resembles a false flag up in many ways. One similarity is that there was a meticulously planned for long in advance. Astute readers may notice another similarity, the phenomenon of the drill going live. We are in a live exercise. Yeah, we heard that. Whenever they're doing these drills, we're now going to go live. You know, I mean, we heard that on 9/11 all sorts, didn't we? Here we go.
Yeah, there were always an exercise going on.
Yeah.
I mean, if you remember Peter Power, he was on the BBC and he had a company called Visor Consultants, and they were doing the exact same scenario as what panned out at the same time at the same places. And he said, like, it made me shut, you know, it sent a shiver down my spine. I went, shut up, dickhead, you obviously knew.
Right, the first one of these 9 things is Dark Winter, June 2001. The New World Order ruling class and the United States government have been carrying out drills or simultaneous for pandemics for a long time. In June 2001, they conducted an operation known as Dark Winter, which simulated a biowarfare anthrax attack. And by a strange coincidence, such an anthrax attack actually happened after 9/11. Go figure. By another strange coincidence, Johns Hopkins was involved. Johns Hopkins is a Center for Health Security. I've read some of it, and it's really deep. I'm just going to flick over it, but this Johns Hopkins organization does crop up a lot. Okay. Dark Winter was an exercise which portrayed a fictional scenario depicting a covert smallpox attack on US citizens. Here we go. Right. Upon further investigation, key leaders of both Event 201 and Crimson Contagion not only have deep and long-standing ties to US intelligence and the US Department of Defense, they were all previously involved in that same June 2001 exercise, Dark Winter. Some of these same individuals would also play a role in the FBI's sabotaged investigation into the subsequent anthrax attacks and are now handling major aspects of the US government's response to the COVID-19 crisis. So this whole stuff is going back like 20 years. Other major players in Dark Winter are now key drivers behind the biodefense mass surveillance programs currently being promoted as a technological solution to COVID-19 spread, despite evidence that such programs actually worsen pandemic outbreaks. Yeah, but if there's money to be made, why do they? Don't give a fuck about that, do they? Here we go. Right. Okay. The next one, Model State Emergency Health Powers Act, which was drafted in 2001. It's a public health act originally drafted by the CDC, Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Right. What you'll notice is a lot of this stuff is to do with the states. But this is a worldwide problem. So a lot of the stuff that we're looking at, it might say it's from America, but it's relevant. Okay, so the CDC, with the intention of getting the 50 US states to enact similar legislation, it included sweeping and draconian legislation, including forced vaccination. And this was drafted in 2001. It was as a response to epidemics, pandemics, and bioterrorism. What epidemic? There's 6% less people dying this year compared to last year. And that's, forget what they've died of, that's just numbers. In America, checked it today. Go on their website and have a look. It's dead interesting. Amazing, really. Okay, this act lets a governor declare a state of emergency unilaterally and without judicial oversight. Well, that's just a bit like them laws they brought in yesterday, which we'll go over in a few minutes as well. The act includes an overbroad definition of public health emergency. Well, don't we always find that? Oh, well, it's just this, don't worry, and it's just the thin end of a big wedge. You know, what does that mean? Public health emergency. What's the fucking definition for that then? Basically, they don't where they haven't got to justify quarantining, forced treatment, or any other broad emergency authorities that would be granted under the Act. The Act requires the disclosure of massive amounts of personally identifiable health information to public health authorities without requiring basic privacy protections. Well, again, that's just like all these new laws that were brought, or well, so-called laws, acts of Parliament that were brought in the other day. The Association of American Physicians...
These don't count, surely. These don't count. I mean, they've not gone through first of all, the first person who got a 600 quid fine for being out when she shouldn't have been, that was deemed unlawful. So surely everything in the future that is of a similar ilk should be deemed unlawful. But that's not what's happening.
Well, I'm going to come to the common law bit in a minute. I'm going to come to the common law bit in a bit when I get to the end of this. So, right. The next one, 2004, the Project BioShield Act. It was an act passed by the US State Congress in 2004 calling for $5.6 billion in 2004 for purchasing vaccines that would be used in the event of a bioterrorist attack. Well, it's all right. We'll just keep Bill Gates and his fucking cronies in work then, shall we? Murdering bastard. This law has three main provisions. One, relaxing procedures for some chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear terrorism-related spending. In other words, we can just give all the money to our mates, including hiring and awarding research grants. Well, I wonder who got all them grants then. Wouldn't be called Fauci or Gates, would they? Guaranteeing federal government market for new medical countermeasures and permitting emergency use of unapproved countermeasures. Unapproved. Again, there's loads of stuff, H1N1, swine flu, but you can go and look at this for yourself. I'm just trying to rattle through it. The next one was the Public Readiness and Emergency Preparedness Act in 2005. Where would Big Pharma be without their favourite politicians constantly passing laws legally protect them from liability arising from their toxic products? This boils my fucking blood. In 1986, the US Congress passed the National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act, which set up special courts for the vaccine damaged. Okay? Yeah, great, that, isn't it? Where I've got lost. This gives the Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Resources the power to waive legal liability for corporations producing covered countermeasures, i.e. vaccines. In other words, the vaccine companies are not responsible even though they're killing people. So when somebody in America tries to take somebody to court because they can prove that a vaccine has injured a member of their family, they are fighting the American government.
The vaccine companies have always had
indemnity.
Yeah, they've always been protected from being sued by anybody, which is why there's a vaccine injury compensation fund that's paid out millions and millions, I'd probably say billions of pounds, to people that have been vaccine injured. But the problem is you've got with vaccine injury and with autism and stuff like that, and particularly with parents, is that what you're ultimately saying is that they have inflicted, because they've consented, they have inflicted that upon their child, and that for them is really, really difficult to accept. So they will take any sort of they'll take any sort of explanation that doesn't involve them. I'm not any part of this. Right? You know, even though you trust your doctor and you don't, you know, and you think you can think to yourself afterwards, you can think, well, I didn't ask for the insert. Why did I do this? Why? But it's done. And if it's done, it's done. And you've got a vaccine injured child, you need to fucking keep at them, because otherwise it's just going to be other kids that are going to fucking suffer.
But doesn't it show you how difficult it is to actually get some kind of remedy when you're not going to take a big company to court like, I don't know, Glaxo, because they're indemnified. Nothing to say, it's not our fault. The government said we could do it, so they deal with it now, which is effectively what it means. And then when you go to court, you're fighting the government. Well, guess what's on the fucking wall in the court that you go to? The government's fucking emblem, like in this country. You know, it's the crown. So do we ever think we're going to get Prince Andrew in a court? Of course we're not. He's part of the crown. You're asking the people that you're fighting against for remedy. Your chances of winning are not a lot. Right, let's carry on with this. Anyway.
Have you got more paper?
Are you what?
Have you got more paper?
More paper what?
Which stuff on?
Oh, I'm reading it off my tablet here, pal.
All right, go on then.
This was another 12 pages, and I just thought, I'm not fucking printing that. I'm running out of paper. Right. This is a Rockefeller. Rockefeller, I've heard that name before. Foundation paper in 2010 called Lockstep. Wow. A Rockefeller Foundation paper analysed a scenario called Lockstep, a phrase with negative overtones and suggestive of soldiers, military, and fascism. Okay. Lockstep, yeah, I guess. A bit like being locked down. Not locked up, locked down. Anyway, where they outline governmental responses to a rapidly emerging viral pandemic. The paper outlined a scenario where a pandemic has hit and the government of the world use it to expand their authority. And you notice none of this is for our benefit. Nothing I've said in any of these is for our benefit. It's all about the few having more power over us. Every single fucking paragraph. Anyway, they increase their grip on power. Although the authors of the paper try to claim they are just imagining, not predicting the future. Given the immense role of the Rockefeller family bloodline and the Rockefeller Foundation in pushing the New World Order global government, This is a ruse to cover their active planning for crisis scenarios that they know will happen. Yep. Predictive programming. This is going to happen. You need to be scared. Here we go. January 2017, US Northcom Branch Plan 3560. This unclassified 2017 US military paper from Northcom warned of a possible novel influenza disease that could strike the US and leave it unprepared. It outlines a planned and coordinated response to an infectious disease outbreak involving numerous government agencies such as DHS, FEMA, USDA, HHS, and even NGOs, non-government organizations. Okay, that was one in 2017. The next thing in 2017 was the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Securities Agency Act. Similar to the Section 817 of the Patriot Act, and we all know how quick the Patriot Act came in, was it within about fucking 2 hours of the fucking towers falling down, even though it was about 3 million pages long. Sorry.
It was in October.
Yeah.
It came out in October. So yeah. September 11th, you've got to take into account that there's probably 2 weeks while people are still shocked, and then they start to write this Patriot Act, which comes out in
I can't remember how long the Patriot Act is, but it's a fucking... I've not read it all, clearly, but...
It's fucking huge, mate. I think it's about 27,000 pages long.
It's I read the first bit, but fucking hell.
Before they voted on it, right, it was 27,000 pages long, and before they were voting on it, right, the senators were given half an hour to read it. Which, there you go. That's exactly what, they got what they wanted.
Yeah.
In half an hour to read a 27,000 page fucking document, which had only just been given to them. They'd not had a chance to review it before, or anything like that.
Yeah.
They go, here you go. It's 27,000 documents. Oh, by the way, half an hour you've got before we vote on whether we do it.
Yeah.
What they're going to do? They're going to vote with parties, aren't they?
Of course they are.
But by then they had that fucking Republican parties in, and you know what they're like, for fuck's sake.
Cybersecurity and infrastructure. This was 2017. And what have I missed off that? Similar to the Patriot Act, the expansion of the biological weapons statute, which gave the USG immunity from violating its own biological weapons laws. I'm just going to read that again. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency Act of 2017 in America. Okay. Similar to Section 817 of the Patriot Act, the expansion of the biological weapons statute, which gave the US government immunity from violating its own biological weapons laws.
Yeah, of course they do.
This act recognizes the Department of Homeland Security's National Protection and Programs Directorate into a new agency. So all the time what they're doing, it's not like they're covering their ass anymore. They're not bothering doing that anymore. All they're saying is, not our fault, because we fucking brought in a law that said it wasn't. Right, here we go. August 2019. We're getting close to now, actually, now, aren't we? Here we go. Crimson Contagion, August 2019. In 2019, there were 2 exercises conducted in the second half of the year that both happened to simulate a situation where a viral pandemic broke out in China and made its way to the US. Fucking go figure. The first one that finished in August 2019 was called Crimson Contagion and was run by the US government. The full name was Crimson Contagion 2019 Functional Exercise. In it, the US government prophetically simulated a viral outbreak that began in China and landed in Chicago, infecting 110 million Americans. We were a few fucking thousand out. Here we go. Hang on, there was a bit on the bottom of this. The conclusion of the simulation was that the federal government lacked the funds, coordination, and resources to effectively combat the virus. A finding which justifies even greater spending on pandemic preparedness. The simulation was led by former Air Force physician Robert Kadlec, mentioned above, who was also involved in Dark Winter. Now, Dark Winter, if you remember, was in 2001. So here we are in 2019, and the same people are doing the the same sort of bullshit. And then, Event 201.
Is there much more of this?
Yeah. No.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Another in. This is it. Event 201.
I want to talk. There's stuff I want to, talk about. And,
okay. Let me just get to the end of this because it's all right. Where's the Event 201 bit? I've just bloody lost it. Here we go. October 2019, Event 201. The event everybody's talking about. I mean, there's loads of stuff on that. Just go and have a look if you don't know about that. So basically, they've prepared everything to make sure they can just bring all this in. Then there's a big long list of all these papers. If you want to look at this, it's thefreedomarticles.com. 9 simulations, drills, laws prepared for the coronavirus. So it's all been sort of brought in and set up and all done nice and neatly, I guess, is the phrase I'm looking for. Go on then, Jason. You wanted to talk about stuff.
I'm having a piss a minute, so you'll have to, you'll have to carry on a minute because I've got a fucking...
Right, let me just have a look at this then. The other one, again, I've not confirmed this one today, but again, thanks to Don for this one. Keir Starmer, apparently an awful lot of funding comes from one of the online casinos. And have you noticed there's a load more adverts for online casinos at the minute? Loads more.
Yeah, because it's something you can do at home, and they've seen that.
Yeah. Yeah,
they've seen that they can fucking. They've seen that this is summer. Now we're going to get We're going to get really cheap fucking advertising. You know why we're going to get cheap advertising? Because fucking DFS. They're not having a fucking sale, are they?
No.
They're a lockdown sale, so they get all this fucking. All this cheap advertising because the only things that are worth advertising are either look at us, look how great we are at this supermarket.
Oh yeah, come to the
supermarket. And then stay 2 meters apart. Well, stay 2 meters apart. I think I've got a new one. Stay 2 meters apart, but don't give a fuck.
Right, here we go.
This is what you should do. You should say, listen, if you should stand right next to somebody and they say, oh, you're not 2 meters apart. Say, no, I'm doing it differently. I'm 2 fucks apart. I don't give 2 fucks, so I'm right next to you.
Just gonna get a t-shirt with "I'm happy to hug if you are" on it, and see how many hugs you get. Yeah, just about distancing. This is quoting directly from this.
Who's going to hug? It's plastic.
Kaufman. No virus can jump 6 feet, 12 feet, or 13 feet. It's misinformation. So. That's direct from doctors, isn't it? Anyway.
I don't know how many times you've written that down, but you fucking said it loads.
I know, because it pisses me off.
I know it pisses you off.
What pisses me off is, it's like Mark said the other night, until now we've been able to opt out of stupidity, but now we can't.
It didn't like Mark said other night. It's like what you said other night. Before, it didn't impede on you, right?
Yeah.
It didn't impact on your life. You said this before Mark even fucking were an idiot pants, right? So what you said, this is what's happening. It's really doing my fucking head in that I cannot do what the fuck I want simply because of this threat. This again, it's an unseen threat. It's Osama bin Laden. It's fucking foot and mouth.
Yeah.
It's all those things. They're all the same. They don't fucking exist. Osama bin Laden, Tim Osman, that was his CIA name. Just look it up.
Yep.
Osama bin Laden, CIA name, Tim Osman. We're all set up. The only flight that flew out of the United States The only non-fucking military flight that flew out of the United States on 9/11 was carrying the Bin Laden family.
Yep.
You know, so that they could get out of the fucking way. Just look at it. It's just fucking nuts.
Oh, come on. You know,
why? You know, why? Come on. Just why? What is going on? Right? And why? Why is this happening? I still think this is mainly a economic fucking a nuclear war against businesses that are not, you know, corporations. These big corporations. I mean, fucking Subway will get through it. So will fucking, you know, what that's the place where you get coffees from, Starbucks and Costa, and they'll all get through it.
Yeah.
But that little coffee shop where you go and get a sandwich, you know, when you're on your rounds, when you were on your rounds, and I came with you one time, and you went, "Oh, that sandwich shop's got best sandwiches and, you know, coffees." There'll be none of that.
That's gone.
Yeah, exactly. That has gone, and that is what we really, really need to fucking try not to hang on to, because hanging on to it is just going to fucking get us into more debt. What we need to try to rebuild once this is all fucking done.
For me, you know, I've been trying to think about how we can turn this into a positive. And sorry, I'm getting messages from people. Can I send them a link? And oh God, hang on a minute. Oh God.
Oh, do you know what?
The phone just never stops all day. People sending me links to stuff. Anyway,
well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to about at past. I'm going to pop out a couple of links to Owen and to Webby. And is he in or what tonight? Old fucking what's his face? You know what I mean? Shield Destroyer.
No, I don't think so. Right, I just want to try and bring a positive thing to it. The only thing that's spreading is fear. Okay? The only thing going viral is fucking insanity. Really? Because we've got all the links. Well, we haven't actually. We've got enough links, Bill Gates and Fauci, to all these corrupt politicians that are busy lining each other's pockets with your money, by the way, that don't really exist, although you had to work hard for it in order to lose your house. So how can we turn this into a positive? Now, what are we going to do? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out. I'm going to go to the shops. I'm going to walk where I want, when I want, and how I want.
Do it with a knob out.
No.
See how that goes. No, good. Just no. You just one of your knobs. Just get one of your knobs out and walk about with it. See what sort of reception you get.
Nobody will notice.
Well, they say, "Excuse me, sir. You seem to have in your pants. You seem to have a sore thumb."
Yeah. Just say hello to a couple of people. I just need to answer this. Sorry, mate. I'm really, really sorry.
He's really, really sorry to everyone that's listening, but he really has to answer. Come on. Are you on?
Yeah.
What's up?
Nothing. So what are we going to do? What I'm going to do, I'm going to try and lead a normal life. All right, I've not got a job. I've not got a car. But I'm going to do my bit to be normal. And when you've got all these people in America, all with guns, who are going out and are being normal, that's why they're allowed to be normal. because they've got a gun in the pocket, and the police know they can't just go and take them out because there's more of them than there is, but there's more of us. Now, there's no way, if anybody's not awake or starting to wake up now, that they're ever going to do. I don't believe they will. We've got to forget about them. The people that we need to concentrate on are the people who seem to have recently just come back into your life, who've started to ask you these questions, who always thought you were a bit of a nutter. They're the people we need to be concentrating on. And hopefully then they've got their friends who might just. But all the people who are standing in line, forget it. Forget them. You're not going to wake them up. If this ain't going to wake them up, nothing is. But we need to have little things in our pockets, like saying to people, have you looked at Bill Gates? Do you know what he's involved with? Do you know who Dr. Fauci is? You know, have you looked at any of the real numbers? Tell me about this vaccine. What is it? Or tell me about this test they're doing for this vaccine. What is it? You know, if people can't tell you that it's this PCR testing, they've done fucking no research. They just sit in front of the telly and watch the BBC. So I'm just going to be living my life. And that's effectively, we're just going to say no. Just like, no, we're not doing this now. I'm just going to do this because I can, because I'm a man and I don't need fucking permission to be free.
Dude, do you know where I see this panning out?
Go on.
I see this panning out as, and this is how I hope it does, is that we get people like you and me, and I know you're in a fucking state at the moment. You're like really, really fucking pissed off. And I can't blame you for that. But what we need to be is we need to be calm so that when it does erupt outside, and you know it will.
Yep.
When it gets to a point that we're here and we're calm and we can explain to people what's been going on and what is going on.
Yep.
And this is why we've got to keep a rein on our emotions. We need to know the information, but try not to let it get to you in an emotional way, because if it does, it's fucking useless to you. But if it's something that you can then put down, if it's something that you can have on a card so we can show somebody, you know, and say, because people will be going and go, well, we never fucking expected this, and you don't go, well, we knew all about this. You just help them through it. Said, look, this is what's been going on. This is why you've been put into this position.
Do you know what? Alice has just put something up, and I can remember saying this a long time ago. Let's ignore the government out of existence. Aid Hardy, 2020. Yeah, just ignore them out of existence. I've been saying that for fucking years. But my point is, the only thing that's spreading is fear. And the only thing that's going viral is insanity. Complete and utter insanity.
But people are going to see that it's insanity at some point. What we've got to do is we've got to be calm and guide people into a direction where, you know, just have a look at we've all got to lose that fucking ego. You know, when you go, oh, it's all 5G that's doing this. It's all fucking down to 5G. And you just put all your eggs in fucking 5G basket. You can't do that, because that's just going to blow somebody's fucking mind, and they're just going to go back to where they were. But once this is, you know, if you can go, well, you know, there is a possible link with 5G, because that's all you can really say. There is a possible link with 5G, and there's this, and don't forget that they told you, the media told you this and that and the other, and we can show you examples of media lying and things like that, and do it in a more gentle way, rather than just being in someone's face and just saying, well, I already fucking knew this anyway, if you won't be in this fucking mess. You know, we're all in this fucking mess. Some people don't know why they're in this mess, and we do. So
I wrote down a question the other night, and I want this to be what we do, or part of what we do. If you're going to get Webby or and a couple of others on, this is what I wrote down. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What if the clapping sheep? Let's think about the Georgia Guidestones. It says on it, we've got to maintain a population of around 500 million in balance with nature. Okay, it's the first thing on the top, the Georgia Guidestones. If you don't know what the Georgia Guidestones are, just Google it, get a picture up. But I wrote down this: what if the clapping sheep, because they'll all be out there tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, rattling the fucking pots and pans. What if the clapping sheep are supposed to be vaccinated and die? And us and all of the, let's call them awake people, have passed the intelligence test, and we are the chosen ones to take this race further forward. Is it time to cut the sheep the fuck loose and just leave them to it? Because I'm actually at the point where, because they're stopping me going about my day, because they're all acquiescing to this shit, they've done no research whatsoever. They just sit there in front of that fucking square box like that all day, listening to what Trump says, or they've got a fucking a thing on Twitter telling them what to think, and not realizing that all the stuff that they ought to be reading, they can't because it's been took down off that, and they've actually got to go and research it. I think we need to forget about them for now. Just concentrate on the people who are coming to us for information, and just go out and just be the change that you want to see. I'm just going to go out and I'm just going to live my life, because if other people see me doing that, hopefully they'll do that as well.
This is the point I'm saying. If you're just going about your business and doing whatever, and you're talking to people who know what you're talking about, like I said before, the people that are surrounding us, the people that are around us, let's just say that everybody who knows what's going on and knows this fucking is a load of bollocks and have been following this for fucking years, and you know, the martial law, new world order thing. If you put us in a great big fucking circle, and then you got the people outside, well, there's going to be a point where the people outside are going to be going, "What the fuck? Really, what the fuck?" I mean, you know, when they start getting dragged out of their houses because they've been tested for COVID-19, that's when they're going to start be going, "Oh, what the fuck?"
Yeah,
and that's when they're going to be coming. And we need then to be gentle. Not to be fucking, you know, judgmental with him. We need him to, because fucking hell, look, just look at the education system we've had for the last 50 years. Not 50 years. 50 years, because I read it years ago. But when I were a kid, it were fucking, it were wank. I went into my fucking I had a teacher, an ed teacher called Gordon Forster. He was Mr. Forster, and on our first assembly, we all sat down, and he went, "The one thing I've always wanted is I wanted to find a pupil with a photographic memory." And I thought, well, you know, I ain't got one of them. Anyway, he had all the fucking first years, he had fucking IQ tested, right? And on my first IQ test, they made me fucking do it again because I got 166. And they made me do it again, and I did it again, and it was 169. So I got the fucking... Hey?
Mine's 147.
Is
Bex
it?
is 146.
Right, so I got 169, and they couldn't fucking believe it. But I would not throughout my fucking school. Well, while he was there, I would not join in with his, because you know what he wanted something, and I won't fucking have it. So I got a bit fucking. I got a bit. We got Webby anyway.
Well, what I wanted to say was that we are all getting cabin fever. My son's been to see me a couple of times.
My daughter came today.
Yeah, I haven't seen my daughter for a long time. And do you know the last time that I actually, Webby, the last time that I actually had any physical contact with another human being was when my son came the other day and gave me a hug, like father and son do. And the week before that, same him. And the week before that was when he picked me up from the airport. Since then, I think the last time I actually physically touched another human being.
Thailand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I've got a fake leg you can come round and have an hug with if you want.
Yeah, but you know, we are a race that requires not just socializing, just generally socializing. So now you're not only not allowed to socialize, you've got to wear a fucking mask if you do. It's just madness. Absolute fucking madness. So the question, Webby, I don't know if you missed it, but the question I'm asking is this. What if the clapping sheep are supposed to be vaccinated and die? And us and all of the awake people, like the people that are watching and listening tonight, and all the people who kind of get this, we've all passed the intelligence test, and we're the ones chosen to further this race. Is it time to cut the sheep loose? It kind of required a response.
Webby, he's talking to you, man. What's the matter with you?
Sorry, the cat is up to shenanigans, and I think she's just finished. So I was caught between two. Go on, Ed. Just summarize it again. What was the question?
I'll ask you again in a minute. Just something that we ought to just nip into just quickly, because people are asking about laws and common law. Right.
Are you there, you two? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you, see you.
He's gone. He'll be back in a minute. Hopefully not. Sorry, you heard that. I said it under my breath, but you heard it, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
For those of you that didn't quite catch it, I just said, I hope not. Right. April the 27th, all these coronavirus legislation. Now, there are a lot of ways in which we can use their legislation against them, okay? So it is important that we understand it. However, I like to cut things down and make it dead simple. Common law trumps everything. Sorry, sir, you're out of your house. What's your name? I don't need a name, because a name is what you put on a contract, and I am not contracting with you, constable.
Fucking nightmare leaving you two together, man.
Terrible.
Fucking absolute nightmare, honestly. It would have been, they've been fucking up to his arses in bills of exchange before you could fucking say, Owen Lloyd Martin's coming on. I think.
Like it was so smooth, that, Jace. Oh, right. So smooth.
So, right.
I've got like that app, man. Get camera a bit higher, because I like to look at that app. Top app, man.
It's Milli Vanilli.
It is, isn't it?
How you doing, guys? Fuck it. Fuck it.
So, what I was saying was about these supposedly new laws they brought in yesterday or whatever it was. I'm just going to read what Stiff Rock. I've not actually read what your statutory laws are. Written laws passed by legislature and government of a country, and those which have been accepted by the society. We didn't accept. Exactly. Do not consent. No, I claim common law exclusively. Thank you, officer. I won't be giving you my name. Names go on contracts only. In other words, fuck off.
I'm going to fucking put you
listen,
off.
If they lock me up, what's the fucking difference? At least I ain't got to queue at the supermarket to get fed.
Right.
Honestly,
I want you to free. Right, listen, I want you three to carry on talking, because I'm just going to piss you off. Keep talking.
Right. Okay.
Webby's not said out yet, and he's got like fucking jihadis behind him, hasn't he? He's like,
Webby's got problem. Webby have problem.
It's a jihad against fucking Yorkshire.
It's the fucking cat that's pissing me off. I'll go through a fucking window if it carries on.
Aid, you were saying anyway. You had a question, didn't you? Do it again. Start again.
Well, yeah. No, I was. I was trying to come up with something positive. Because we're all sat here where we can't do this, we can't do that, we can't do the other. What I'm saying is, you don't need permission to be free.
Exactly.
Statism and believing in government is like, well, the ideas are that good, they've got to be compulsory. It just don't make any fucking sense. It's not normal. You do not need permission to be free. Your rights are not a blank piece of paper. You've got millions of rights. It's
voluntary anyway.
Yeah, you've got millions of rights.
It's voluntary.
Yeah.
It's not the jurisdiction though that they accept you in. This is what the problem is.
When you're talking about jurisdiction, I'm sorry, but in order to get jurisdiction, they need a name and they need consent.
Consent. I was going to say consent.
Right.
Sorry, Ed, that's. Go on, mate. Go on. You're in that.
If they decide they don't want that I don't need to give them consent, well, they better just fucking take me away then and bullet me. Because if that's what it's come to, I fucking don't want to be here, and I don't mind being the first. Because I'd really like my kids and grandkids to have something left to fucking live in.
And you think they're going to have something left to live in if you fucking blown a fucking hole in your head? No, you need to stop here and keep fighting. That's the thing. Like I said, there are people we need to keep together and keep in a tight in. You know what I mean? Because there's gonna be there'll be something. There's the next thing. I told you to look up to the skies. We had fucking what's his face, fucking Elon Skywalker, fucking flashing his fucking Santa Claus thing across the fucking sky. That stopped. Everything about that stopped. Now they're talking about a fake alien invasion. They want you to look up. It's the look up. It's like they did on 9/11. Everybody looked up, and down underneath they were taking all the fucking gold out, from the bottom of the fucking World Trade Center. World Trade Center's collapsed. Boom. They're getting us to look up. I think everyone's died. Yeah.
But we need to find positive ways of doing stuff. And like you say, be positive with people. And we need to, if people are asking us, we need to have positive things to say to them. Like, you know, just look up Bill Gates and then stop listening to the idiot. Because once you realize what he is, you won't believe a word he fucking says. You know, and they keep parading these people on the TV. And if you know, the few bits that I have looked at, links that people have sent me and stuff, when he's talking about people dying, the bastard's smiling. He's got a big fucking smile on his face. You know, like he's talking about his latest football team that's just won the fucking cup. He's a fucking psychopath.
For me, with getting the public health document, which is copyrighted 2015, a lot of people are saying, oh, it's an update that was done in March 2020, where they've added COVID-19 to the list of highly infectious diseases for detention centres and prisons in a 2015 document. Yet SARS-CoV-2 is patented and copyrighted in 2015.
Yep.
SARS-CoV-2 / COVID-19 is the new strain. The factor is the new strain has not been isolated. Therefore, they cannot test for it because they don't know what they're looking for. They're looking for a coronavirus, which remnants of you will have stored in antibodies, which could test positive. The flu vaccination, which we know has got a hyperimmune response in a lot of its subjects when it comes into contact with ordinary flu. So there's questions about that. Again, the SARS-CoV-2 being patented by Bill Gates, who has now got a digital commerce chip patented in 2016, a biometric commercial chip. And he is now offering us the vaccination that is going to save the world. And until we all get this mandatory vaccine, we can't even consider going back to anything like normal. Now, this is a fellow who invented an operating system for a computer, who invented a virus so he could sell us an antivirus. He's just done the same thing, but with humans.
Yep.
Bill Gates funds the World Health Organization. Trump has pulled out of that. He's trying to get us to pull out of that. But China, where this all started, gives the World Health Organization an extra 30 million. Fauci, who is advising Trump, the National Institute of Health funneled 3.7 million from the Obama administration to the Wuhan labs to research coronavirus in 2014. So you see these dots, what you just named there, Ed. You don't have to put a tinfoil hat on to see that the same names are coming up for global, and I shudder to use that word at times, but global vaccinations, cashless digital chips. This is everything that the Bible talks about, and yet nobody wants to even point at it. But these are end times. This is exactly what the scriptures tell us. But I never thought I'd see it in my lifetime. I didn't think I'd walk out of my house every day on a Sunday, even though I do see the traffic has picked up in the past few days. I think people are getting a bit fucked off.
Well, I've had a friend ring me today, and he said he owns a small business, and he said he's going back to work on Friday because if he doesn't, he won't have a business to go back to.
Exactly, and that's what everybody has got to do, unfortunately. But you've got these fucking retards who are filming people taking the dog out for 3 times in a day for a walk.
Yeah,
and these people will not be forgotten about. All these grasses will not be forgotten about when everything changes. After World War II, do you think there were grasses during World War II? Do you think families got thrown under buses trying to, dodge this and dodge that and try and get a bit extra food here and a bit extra food there? Of course they did. But those people will not be forgotten about.
Well, what about Deirdre Barlow from over there in the United States of America? What is going on over there? What is going on over there, Doug, buddy? Do we call you Rubber Duck or do we call you Deirdre Duck? I don't know. How's it going, Uni?
It's going all right. It's going. And real quick, I just want to answer 80's question, the one about should we let the sheep die? That he's been asking. If you don't mind, if you don't mind me answering that.
Yeah, crack on.
Well, maybe I'm just a bit too young and naive to be able to see it that in that exact way. But I personally think that the masses, they're the ones who in the end, whether we like it or not, are the ones that are going to end up steering the world where it goes to. Whether sorry, I'm having trouble speaking, but even if we don't like the fact that the masses aren't waking up, the fact of the matter is, if we don't somehow force, you can't force them to, but if they don't, nothing's going to change because no one's going to listen to a couple of dudes sitting in their mother's basement. Not sitting in the, but you know what I mean. Basically, there has to be some kind of way to be able to get through to them. I don't know. Maybe it's maybe it has something to do with so what's the word I'm looking for? What maybe it has something to do with psychological training.
You see, this is why I think that if we, what are you doing, Jason? Can't hear you.
You're muted, mate. You're muted.
Jason, you're muted, mate.
I'm fucking about with the thing to see if I can get it so that it's because we want 5 people on.
Well, I can only see Bueller.
I know, and so I'm going to change it. All right, calm down so you can see it. There we go. I'm just trying to see what that just puts me there, doesn't it? Well, I suppose everyone wants to see me anyway. No, let me put it like that. No, that works. That works, I suppose. What does that one do? The same as that. We'll have to do that one. Go on.
But every day, I had a stream yesterday, and I had Chill Destroyer and James on, James Howe on, and we actually, I actually asked them about, I actually showed them a couple of things about that, where I go into comment sections of videos that happen to mention the coronavirus, which, by the way, people are too scared to even mention it by name. They just say the pandemic, or they try to indirectly mention it, because. And I've actually asked some people, like, why are you such pussies? Why do you freaking not, like, why are you so scared to mention it by name? And you're like, we don't want to get demonetized.
Yeah. I've been watching the things in Ohio, in Michigan, and other states as well. So there is that there that people that I've noticed. I don't know if I've got more access, or I've just spent too much time up and look at stuff, but I'm seeing all the stuff that's happening in America now, that people are starting to question everything, you know, and that's what's so frustrating for me, because I can see it all happening, and it's hard to not want to be there and say to my friends, look, what's going on. I have Facebook friends that have seen the messages, less rather than more, but I keep trying. But it's like Jason was saying earlier on, is that I want to be there and be a helping hand.
Yeah, I mean, I was at Walmart a few days ago, first time I got out, and God knows how long, because I'll just say this whole pandemic thing doesn't affect me that much personally, because I never got out that much to begin with. So any kind of lockdown procedure or whatever that they put on me, it doesn't matter. It has hardly affect any, and that's just me talking for myself personally, not for anyone else. But when I went to Walmart to go buy some whatever, first of all, the shelves, all the toilet paper and the paper towels and shit are still gone. I thought that problem was taken care of like months ago, but I guess not. I actually saw on the floor, like, stay 6 feet apart from each other, only go up the aisles one way, and I was actually I was with my grandma at the time, and we were just laughing the whole time at the sheer stupidity. And we actually ran into a lot of people in the store who were just laughing at it as well, and just saying that, and a couple of people saying this is bullshit. And there were even arrows like going out of the store telling you got to go this way, as if I don't know how to go in and out the fucking store. And
language, Taylor, you are only 42.
Sorry.
You can say that now. Sorry, that way.
But and then you got this annoying voice over the intercom, and I recognized that it was a robot right away, not a real person, because of the tone of voice. And they were saying, make sure you practice social distancing. Please stay 6 feet apart at all times.
Fuck off.
Can I ask you then? I've been having a look at a lot of the stuff on YouTube, in particular Dr. Fauci, Anthony Fauci. Yeah. What's your take on that now? Because I'm seeing a lot, and I can see this guy. I've seen the connections and connecting the dots with this guy, and he goes way back. Is it 5 terms he's served over there?
Yeah, I think he's been advisor to 5 presidents.
So, what's your personal opinion on that, and what are people saying about it? Are people realizing that this guy is, the devil's helper?
Well, from what I can see, most people don't even know who he is, because they don't pay attention to that kind of thing. They're too busy paying attention to the next Call of Duty coming out. But that's just how Americans seem to think, that is. But personally, if people can't figure out that Philip Zelikow and Henry Kissinger are devils incarnates, then I don't know what it will take for people to understand.
Let's just get back to one thing. In 2014, up until that point, there were scientists and doctors in America trying to get a COVID, mix it with the SARS, which is apparently is another COVID, and HIV and others, to try and make, they called it gain of function. Okay, this is what they were trying to achieve. And so many scientists and doctors said, this is wrong. And they actually petitioned about it to all the, these people stood up and went, that's wrong, because if this gets out, you're going to kill people. So there was a moratorium in 2014. But then Fauci was the one who basically outsourced all that shit to Wuhan and sent $3.7 million. That was in 2015. So he did that. But this guy goes right back to 1981 when he was the one peddling all the AIDS thing and trying to get people to buy drugs that they didn't even know what was causing it. And he was trying to get them to buy his drugs at that point. You know, that's how far back Fauci goes. The man's a fucking murderer.
Look at the connections he has with the World Health Organization.
Yeah, funded by Rockefeller and Bill Gates.
Bill Gates keeps turning up time and time again. He's not your fucking Microsoft man. Sorry about that.
He's a gatekeeper.
This is the man that wants to fucking change the world. It's like you were saying earlier on about the Georgia Guidestones. Yeah. You know, you can tell people to you. I'm going to say olive in the face. There you go. The racism's in for the night. Olive in the face. But you know, you can tell people stuff like this time and time again, and it'll just go right over their heads. You know, or they don't want to listen or anything else. You can't do anything. We can't do anything more but just stand there and help.
That's the thing. I actually heard a interesting quote from somebody on a YouTube video the other day, basically saying that somebody who's quote unquote good at psychology, basically, if someone doesn't know you personally, or if you don't have a good reputation, then whatever your opinion is, they don't care because they don't know you. So I think that's part of the problem that we have of trying to convince people is that, I mean, that doesn't count for the people that we do know personally. But then that comes down to an ego thing of people just not willing to accept their version of reality, just you know what they thought it was. I mean, I've been going, like I said, I'm going on YouTube comments and you know, people talking about, you know, oh, the virus is so scary, and I go, what? You mean the virus that exists only between your ears? And they fucking say you're a conspiracy tinfoil hat wearing nut job, you know, or they call you an anti-Semite.
Yeah, and you're a fucking puppet that can't do anything other than watch Fox News and sit there and fucking lap all this shit up.
Exactly.
I think somebody mentioned earlier on in the chat, Alice mentioned it in the chat, there was, I believe it was the BBC 6 o'clock news, where the head of I think she was head of midwifery or something like that, was doing an interview, and she actually turned around and said that and not enough people have been infected with the virus yet. And I thought, hang on a fucking minute. Hang on a minute. Did she just say what I thought she just said?
Yeah.
But yet tomorrow morning there will still be people talking over the fence, worried about the virus, although they watch the fucking 6 o'clock news.
There are 6% less people dying in America. This is figures from today. It's just over 6% less people dying from the beginning of 2020 until now, as opposed to 2019 until the same date. Less people have died. Now, we could say, all right, people aren't going out in the cars and there's no planes and like whatever. But it's the only real figure you can look at, because we know how they're changing death certificates and all the rest of it, okay? We know that there are people who are not getting their normal medical stuff dealt with and are not going to normal medical appointments. Mind you, that could be a good thing, because last time doctors in America went on strike, the death rate went down by 4%.
Really?
And then when they went back to work, it went back up again.
Huh.
You know, because it's the third biggest killer. Doctors are the third biggest killer in America.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
But when we've got the only figure that we can really, well, even that, can we? If we look at the official figures, you can only really look at the total, because we know all the other figures are skewed. But when you look at the absolute total, and there are less people dying now than have died last year, there are less people got flu than last year, there are less people who've died of colds and flu than last year. And last year we weren't all locked down, wondering when the fucking hell we could even go out again.
Yeah, but what you've got is you've got this situation whereas there's nothing anybody could tell us now, us five that are on here, nobody could convince us that there is a danger from a virus, right?
Mhm.
I'm right, am I? I hope.
Yeah, go on.
So none of these us 5 people would be afraid of some sort of virus.
No. I know naturally this time of the year our body is expelling the badness out of our body, which is not comes down to the flu or the cold. So you're experiencing.
How are they covering up these discrepancies?
Well,
are they
not because what they're doing.
Is anybody dying of anything else anymore? I mean,
there are people that I know of people that have died of. I know of a lady that died of cancer. She died of cancer. I know she suffered from cancer when I worked with her 8-10 years ago. She had cancer then. She always had this cancer. But yet they wanted to put down on her death certificate COVID-19.
We had an 88-year-old man die locally to me. He used to work at the DW Stadium, Wigan Athletic, worked there for years. 88-year-old, 2 weeks ago, he had a heart attack. He's died 2 weeks later in Wigan Infirmary with COVID-19.
That's the biggest thing that's there. What a lot of these hospital reports are saying is that they died after being tested for COVID-19.
Yeah.
After.
92%. They're saying 92% of people who get this, 92% have mild symptoms and come out of it normal. The death rate is still 0.01. That's not enough. And for some reason, they've jumped on this. Aid touched on the SARS-CoV, which are these merges. The HIV insert, they know that there's all this stuff in these man-made viruses because these are viruses that are being injected into people. Judy Mikovits said that the test subjects who had the flu vaccination showed excellent signs of really strong antibodies. The problem is those antibodies had a hyperimmune response. And whereas somebody would pull a knife on you, it was like somebody pulls a knife on you and you order a nuclear strike to defend yourself. That's the proportionality between your ordinary immune system that can deal with this, because there's a couple of doctors talking about microbiology. You know, our immune system relies on us touching things and touching our face and rubbing our eyes and stuff, and allowing this.
With kids, we'll say when we were kids, playing with worms, playing with dirt, playing in the grass, everything like that.
It's a symbiotic relationship that we have with our environment. If you pour us all in cotton wool and lock us in a room and say, make sure your immune system's really strong, guess what? You're going to go outside and die from the ordinary type things that we all have.
You need to put your mic closer, mate. Honestly, it's just like you've got a bit of a pillar over your head.
Ed said this to me last time, and I hadn't touched anything. I'm right there.
There you go.
Don't do that.
There you go. I had my daughter today, who was around, and they were saying she was saying that anybody who had a death from COVID, the family would get 60 grand, right? A £60,000 payout. So so you go up to somebody who's death's door and you say, well, can you? We'll put this as COVID. We'll pretend. We'll stick that and we'll give you 60 grand. And if you sign this, do not resuscitate.
No.
Yeah, ask you to cough.
Yeah.
You see, that's a good way to start killing people. This, you could actually poison somebody and say, "Oh, hey, you had a bit of a cough."
Isn't this organised euthanasia?
There you go.
It's called eugenics.
Euthanasia?
It's eugenics.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Bill Gates 101.
Yeah.
Planned Parenthood eugenics.
Right.
Yeah, but that's what they're doing. There's an incentive of £60,000 for somebody who's died to have COVID-19 put on the death certificate, but it's used. It's told. It's presented as a £60,000 purse for. We're sorry, your relative has died of COVID-19, whereas they might have been at death's door, and then do a do not resuscitate. Tell us we can put COVID-19. Just agree. Just sign here that they've because they don't need to do a test. And just sign here to say that they were a test and she had COVID-19, and there's your 60 grand. And there you go. Do not resuscitate. We'll give you a ring when she's gone, and we'll pop money in your bank. Well, in 28 days. It's a joke, isn't it? It's a joke.
We can't let it happen. Can't let it happen.
That's what's happening.
Right. When you've got, if you just look at American hospitals, they're pretty much they're a business. Yeah.
Pharmaceutical business.
Right. So when you've got a hospital that relies on tests being done and people paying for it, people seeing doctors and people paying for it, a lot of that is not happening at the moment. 90% of it just ain't happening because nobody's allowed to go to a hospital. So all these hospitals in America are basically bankrupted. So if they get paid $3,000 if you go into hospital, or what's the figure if they put you on a ventilator, Webby? I know you looked at that.
$39,000.
Right. So what they're going to do? They're going to put you on a
$13,000 for a
ventilator.
diagnosis.
Yeah. They're going to, the instruction is going to come down from above to put this guy on a ventilator because they get paid and they need the money. Yeah. So once again, it comes straight back round. It's Bill Gates, and he's the gatekeeper to the truth.
I remember reading this story today.
I'm just wondering, sorry, Owen, but what I'm just wondering is, are all those bottles next to Taylor's bed, are they all lube?
It looks it to me, mate. I thought that.
They do look a bit lubey, don't they?
They do look a bit lubey.
A little bit lube. Go on, Owen.
Yeah, I was just noticing today because, like I say, I've been a lot of time on my hands, guys, because I'm still moving from place to place, and that's another thing. You see the bike there behind me. Literally, if I get a chance to go out, I go out. Vitamin D is good for me. Sunshine's good for me. Seeing people is good for me, and that's the thing here that I'm fortunate to have, and I'll say that because of the situation that I'm in is that I'm still able to walk around and meet. Yes, there are. I mean, for the first time in since this outbreak, the police have been maybe 2-3 miles away from here at a particular roundabout at a main junction, just checking people where they were. Thankfully, it was somebody delivering for me, so it was cool to let him through. But that's about it, really, because because of where I am, because it's villages and everything else. It's you're quite free to open between, as I mentioned it before, between the shires, in between places. But you can't move out of your particular borough. But it's that. I don't feel the fear, and the only reason I say I don't feel the fear is because of the shit I've been through. You guys will know the shit I've been through and all the rest of it, but this has just been something else that's made me forget that, because this is more important. It's one of these things now that this is shit or bust. If we don't do something about it, at least help people along the way, that's it. We're fucked. Our kids are fucked. I don't want my daughters to live in a world where they're controlled. I want to live in a world where everybody can sit around and say, hello, how are you doing? I'm having a really good day. Thank you very much. Yes, have a good day. And that's what we need. Unity. Unity is strength. Unity is power. Regardless to what, we all got the same sort of liking and everything else. That's what we should be doing. We should be leading forward. Sorry, I've waffled, but, it's...
Webby's put a screen up. I don't know what this screen is, because am I okay to put this up, Webby?
Yeah, man.
Okay, we'll put this is Webby's screenshot. There you go. What's the? Oh, right.
This is This is my local will calls last week. They're allowing up to 12 people, I believe, in the store. It's quite a big store, that. But this was just some of the photographs that I took while I was out last week. I mean, that to me, in my hometown, to see that guy's queuing for an ATM.
Next to a fucking tree that's giving him oxygen, and he's got a fucking mask on, the silicone.
Honestly, mate, wait till you see this one here.
Oh, the dirty bastard.
Look, there's one.
Yay.
Everybody thought that were Bill Gates.
It could be, couldn't it? It could be Bill Gates.
It's actually a woman, but
it's not a fucking woman. That
it is. That's a woman. She come out of B&M Bargains. Now look at this.
Just because she come out of B&M Bargains don't make her a woman.
No, she is a woman, mate. Anyway, if you look at this one, this is looking down one of the main shopping streets in my town. Just out of shot here is the Halifax shop and ATMs. Some are queuing for ATMs, the rest are queuing to go in the bank. Look at what this sign says here. Can you see it?
Can't read it.
No, can't read it, mate. No.
Stay home, save lives. Save the
fuck.
NHS. That's what it says on that bench. So, like I said, these were just a few shots. Well, I just walked into town. Again, that's the NatWest Bank, and this is 200 yards down the road in the queuing. And I just to see that in my hometown, it just really, it really put it home.
Who did I just fucking? I've just fucking deleted somebody. So I ran him back.
You deleted Bueller.
I thought I was going to video fucking thing, and it was Bueller. Shall I bring him back, or shall I take his top off first? Take your top off.
In our room there, it's I don't know how to broadcast it through to you guys, but that link that's there is is from my shopping experience at one of the local supermarkets. I don't know if you can show that, but the link's there in the.
Well, if you've got them on that device that you're doing it on, you can share screen with us, and I can put it up, and you can then.
Okay.
It better be good, though. It better be good. If it's crap, I'm going to ban you, and I'm never allowing you back.
I've just put up a picture of London at the weekend. That was sent to me by Teresa, who's probably in the chat room, actually.
Right.
That's what London looked like at the weekend. I don't know if you can make me look bigger or Jason.
I can't. Well, I don't know if it'll make you look bigger. Don't think that's possible.
That was London at the weekend, as you can see. And I got quite a few of those. I've just been sent a text as well, and a lot of the stuff that I covered early on about GlaxoSmithKline and Bill Gates and all the rest of it came from Don. And Don's just sent me a text. Bill Gates stroke GlaxoSmithKline estimated charge to UK government £285 per vaccine. That's a vaccine for something they can't prove exists because the test don't work.
Well, right. I'm going to save him £285.
Yeah, I think I might.
Me too.
Are they going to start charging?
It's not even.
Are they actually going to charge you to get a vaccine?
Well,
no, it'll be paid for by NHS. It'll
be paid for by the NHS, but it'd just be,
It's not government money because governments don't have money. So it's
our don't have any money.
Our money. They decide it's in our best interest to spend our fucking money, the tax, the blood and the sweat and the tears that this fucking nation, because it's not these cunts on fucking like fucking Branston on his fucking island. I'm talking about people who pay tax, blood, sweat and tears. That is what he's going to be paying for the vaccine that's going to fucking make them worse. and make them so that they can't spill that blood, sweat and tears anymore, and then they become useless, and then they become fucking the second wave comes along, and then it's everyone who's not been vaccinated that is causing the people that have all been vaccinated to die, and everyone's been vaccinated to die,
and also the thing is that James Corbett talked about this, that the second wave in a month or two is going to be, after they say after quote unquote restrictions, the second wave will come, and then
James Corbett.
Ed has already touched on the lockstep program. Phase 2 of the lockstep program is waiting for the pushback from the public. They haven't got any pushback here yet. They're getting pushback in other countries, but they're not getting much of a pushback here. Although I did see some plastic coppers pulling up about 6 teenagers on my way home from work.
Hello, this is me. It's the Corbett Report here, and I'm going to tell you what's going on in here. You need to be really fucking scared as fucking everything, because I'm here in Japan live with the
fucking Corbett Report. Have a fucking day off. Have a day off. And do you know who's turned up? Do you know? I'm going to ask Web. This is a question for Webby specifically.
Excuse me? Where?
Specifically.
Don't you mean specifically?
Well, I would do if I thought we've got 68 people watching, but some people might not get jokes yet. Sorry. But anyway, can you think of?
Can you ask me?
I'm asking you. Who do you think has just reappeared?
What do you mean, who's just reappeared?
Yeah, right, okay. So,
I know where he's going with this.
I know, shut up. I didn't tell you, did I, Mr. Hatman?
No,
I know you know, because you've got no else better to do. Webby's been to work, probably.
Hey, cheeky fuck.
Yeah, well, you're not going to go to work. It's fucking lockdown in Portugal.
Listen,
Webby's a co-worker.
Vegetables.
Webby's the only one here with a job. So it's like 1 in 5 people in this country have got a job. Now, Webby, can you think about a truther from quite a while ago? Somebody who came on the scene and then suddenly disappeared. And he's suddenly re-emerged again under a different name, but we all know who he is.
Are we talking about Ben Fellows?
There you go.
Zed somebody or other.
Has he come back? Is he back on the scene?
I've just he's just accepted my friend request.
You've not requested friends with Ben Fellows.
Of course I have.
Right, Jason. Anyway, you seem to know more, Owen, so you tell us.
I don't seem to know more. That's a new one to me. That was a surprise for me.
Jason, just
really?
Yeah, something I was going to ask Uni.
Well, because Ben Fellows, I mean, what Ben Fellows did all this 2012 shit, then he decided he was going to fucking find himself in India. Now he's come back during
the only thing I've seen today is some sort of a pardon. Or whatever it was,
it was on the Richie Allen show.
I've not seen it today. I've not seen that.
Fucking Richie Allen show. How do you get on? How do you get it? For me, with all the shit that's gone on, Ben Fellows being on the Richie Allen show is like, what's his name? Who's that other fucking bloke? Who fucking fooled everybody and nicked all the money, and Richie Allen really didn't had a great go at him. Ken O'Keefe.
Right, okay.
So for me, it's like Richie Allen having Ken O'Keefe on, because Richie Allen and Ben Fellows fucking Jesus Christ. I mean, if you've never seen somebody if you've never seen somebody who's, I won't say an agent, but somebody who's been
MK Ultra.
No. He's not even been MK Ultra now. He's gone past that point. He's just acting out what's been told for him to act out. That's all he's doing. He's gone way past that. Fucking. Well, do you know what? I sat down when I saw it. I sat down to myself and I thought, what the fucking hellfire? Ben Fellows, really? This is what we are gonna do. We don't fucking need Ben Bastard fucking Fellows. Right. We don't need fucking what's his face? Who were the other one who were doing the child abuse stuff? Who ended up being a cunt? Fucking what's his face? Okay, you'll tell me, Webby, won't you? The other cunt who would have been who were doing all the child abuse stuff who ended up being a cunt.
Bill Maloney.
Bill Maloney. There you go. These are all these are all red flags to anybody, and I know that there's a lot of people that haven't been doing. John fucking Wedger, exactly, Shield Destroyer. There are people in this game that haven't been doing it very long, and can get sucked into stuff, right? And it's sold to you. It's not
monetary.
It's not offered to you as some sort of information. It's sold to you, and if you don't believe it, they'll fucking they'll come back at you with another reason why it should be sold to you. So it's again fucking bedfellows. John Wedger, what a fucking wanker. By the way, I sent you an invitation, Shield Destroyer. If you wanted, it's on your email. I can accommodate 6.
The worst one now.
Come on, Shield, get on.
New Beings just put a good one in the chat room. Wish we could have a show where everyone tells what's happening outside of their own window. Hopefully, people are just going to start just living their life. Let's try and turn this into a positive.
Exactly. Yeah, I was going to say that.
Just go live your life. That's all we've got to do. Just ignore them out of fucking existence. Listen, it's not easy because, a few weeks ago there was 1 billion reasons to leave your house. Now there's one. To go shopping.
Mm-hmm. Live your life.
I know it's not easy, but I think what we've actually got to do is find reasons to go out. Or if you ain't got a reason, fucking go out anyway.
Can I make an invitation then?
I am not walking to Portugal.
No. Can I just make an online invitation? I've been doing a couple of just random live videos, and I've just been testing out my YouTube channel. And I'm doing a No Fear Friday and stuff like that. So just playing tunes. Regardless, I have loads of copyright stuff done to me via YouTube and Facebook and all the rest of it, but I'm still carrying on. Just as long as if we can get a community of people going that's just playing your own favourite music and just having an online thing, let's fucking do it. Just show a bit of positivity and, a bit of creativity. Let's just do anything. People that have got visual designs that can show them off in the back garden because they're out there having a party. Somebody else is providing the music. Somebody else is providing the chat. Let's get an online community going where we are chatting and talking and communicating with one another.
Fucking hell.
And encouraging people to get on with it.
I hate it. These fucking stupid glasses. I've just fucking lit up a fucking joint halfway down.
Oh no! I want to pull a couple of things out of the chat room, guys, if I can. New being again. For those of you who don't know, he's in Sweden. He can only tell from his point of view. Works half-time in a hospital. There's a lot of signs about keeping your distance, but the doors to the hospitals are closed and guarded. I love this for a job title. Entrance host. Right, my mega neighbours across the road that I'm always talking about. Well, here we go. He did tell me about this, but I just want to read this one out. It's Joseph Tully. Me and my family, my brother and his family, have all been to my parents' house tonight to celebrate his birthday. It was great. Fuck the system.
Yeah, I've accidentally kicked fucking Owen, so Owen, just click back on and I'll add you again. I've been I've never had a sixth before. I've never had a sixth before, so you know, we'll get there.
Dirty mind.
Kev James has put a good one up. Why don't we trust UK column? I don't know if that's towards us or not.
Well, I've got history with UK column. Back in 2014, I gave him a really good story, and it really went well. And the story eventually, it was reported by UK column, but eventually it was sorted out by the mainstream media that picked up on it after it had been. It were an interview that I did with a woman in Rotherham about child abuse. And
I remember that one.
Had been involved in child abuse, and so I did this interview, and then suddenly. I put it up on YouTube, and I sent it to I actually sent it to somebody at Mirror, and this is what I think happened: is somebody at the Daily Mirror sent it to David Icke, and David Icke posted it. So then they got all sorts of different offers of legal, you know, help and all that, and it ended up being really a really nice ending. The grandchild got back, and the family was all reunited, and it was all great. But the UK column weren't really interested in that. We did one show where they played the video that we'd taken, and then they did one show where we were sat with the woman and her daughter, and who was trying to get her kid back, and so they did that, and we did that. I remember the woman. The one thing that I remember is the woman saying, when what's his face, fucking Gerish, said to her, how would you surmise these guys coming in helping? And she just said a gift from God, and that really made me fucking, you know, really. But that was it. The UK column really weren't it. It all seemed to be angled towards Melanie Shaw. Story that we did with them, and also, you know, there were times. When you go on UK column, you sit there and you're on Skype or whatever. I think it was Skype back in 2014. They were me and Frags. Remember Frags, don't you, Webber?
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Frags on, and we were waiting to go on. And UK column studios there, and Brian Gerish is sat reading his thing, and he's reading his notes, and then he put them to one side, and then he looks up and he says, "Who are these people? Who are they?" And we were like, guests on show. We were major guests on show that had got major fucking story going. And he didn't even know who we were. And it was weird. It was weird. I don't think I'd trust them with a story again. But I did have in fact, I'll find it. I'll find it and I'll put it up. But I did have a selfie with Brian Gerish. Oh, fucking hell! You know what? I've missed all. I had a selfie with Brian Gerish. I'll find it out and put it up. Sorry if I've missed you, Owen. It's because it fucking makes you go lower when you're sixth person and I have to have it up.
Don't worry, it's not a race thing. It's not a race thing. Don't worry about it. See you later.
It ain't a race thing because we were fucking. None of us are worthy of winning a race. Have we? Look at Taylor. He couldn't win a fucking race unless it were a Deirdre Barlow fucking lookalike race. Webby's not going to win a race, is he? He's fucking knackered after work. Aidy's got fucked ankles, and I've only got one leg.
So it's me, the African, who's going to win.
Yeah. There you go.
That's because you're black. Because you're black, you're going to win.
Yeah. Yeah, it is, Webby. Yeah, it is.
And that's the only reason. Hey, good.
Thanks for taking me back.
Well, we've got Mark Shield Destroyer in, but he's not set out so far.
Hello. Hello.
How you doing, brother?
Mark, say something. You fucking no point in having you if you're not going to say it.
I don't know. You know, I was just waiting for a gap.
Oh, fucking hell,
I was saying about Kawasaki earlier. I don't know if you saw that. That Matt Hancock, he went on LBC News, and clearly LBC News have already got the questions that they're going to answer, and he asked them about this Kawasaki that apparently is a new strain that affects children, and he said, "Is it only? Did they have underlying conditions beforehand?" And he went, "Yeah, they had underlying conditions." Then he's got an earpiece in, and you see him. Actually, no. Actually, some kids died that didn't have underlying conditions. So I think what they're going to do is they're clearly, if we look at the 2012 Olympics, and it shows all those children in the beds, I think they're going to now get the kids into the school soon, and we're going to start seeing the second, the big, where it's all, oh no, we let you go back too soon, and they're going to start coming for the kids, and the 5G is going to obviously bring out the rashes that apparently this new strain is showing.
I've been seeing stuff like that as well. They've been mentioning that in the US press. In particular about in the UK about, I think there was 3 or 4 cases that were shown in children that symptoms were there, but they as the Americans are, they've looked deep into the vaccines, and they're already questioning the vaccines. I've got an article somewhere regarding a doctor that was saying that they passed a bill to question the authority of the injections in the US. I can't remember the doctor's name, it slips me at the minute. But when you're seeing stuff like this, you've got people in America that are actually seeing these cracks, and I think that's why things are being ramped up with the UK with having testing and everything else. Also, apparently it's supposed to start last Thursday. I don't know if it has, because I don't see much of the UK media here. The things I'm watching. As far as Portugal goes, we're looking at May the 1st, turning back the economy, because they've probably lost the tourism this year and everything else. Obviously, everybody's lost the tourism, but Portugal certainly lost the tourism this year. So it's one of those, it's a steady climb. It's a steady climb for everybody, but it's like Aidan was saying before, I think it's that if people realise, it's a post I put on last night that I'd taken from a good friend's page. And it was a guy explaining that it's people's choices to stay indoors and wear the masks and everything else. If you choose to not do that, you go out and you do what you want to do, because it's what your belief is, that you don't believe, the narrative that's going on. You believe what you feel is true, the stuff that you've researched, the stuff that you've looked at. Sorry guys, I'm waffling again, but
you have to be wrong, Owen. You have to be wrong. You can't be right, because when you start.
Sorry.
Yeah, when you start shattering people's paradigms, and you're telling them things that completely go against the narrative I was taught, the narrative everybody's taught. Jason brought up the bills of exchange earlier. That just fucked my mind up. That because when I realised that everything that my mum worked in, Aid was the same when he found out, all the commerce that my mum had worked in, she actually only understood the rules of the game from where they win, always their point of view. When we actually looked at it and we could, fucking hell, we're meant to win here.
Yeah.
We're meant to win, and this is how simple it's meant to be. And then armed police, the law, and then you start to see. And then you start to break down. You start going through that grieving process of your life that you've built isn't built on solid foundations. It's built on quicksand.
Yeah.
And it's when you realise that, and you start. Like I said, when I first told somebody your gas was free and I got called a cunt, I thought that wasn't the reaction I was looking for. I was thinking, bastards, let's do something.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think Aid hit it the nail on the head at the start of the show, where he said more and more people are coming back who thought you were a fucking nutter. More and more people who are going, what do you think of this? People a woman started a conversation with me 2 weeks ago with virtually. I know that the people say that you talk shit, Webby, but what do you think about this? Because I don't think you talk shit. Now, I know that she's said that I talk shit before, but something is now impinging on their lives. And when it's the unknown, you have to look. You have to look. I mean, that's why I need all the information, mate. I keep my friends close, my enemies closer.
Yes, exactly that. I mean, it's one of those things as well. It's one of the things I was saying the other day is that what we should be doing now, I'll say it to everybody, right? When you go shopping next time round, buy the Baco foil, buy loads and loads of hats, because loads of people are selling loads of shit on eBay, aren't they now? Buy loads of Baco foil and form a tinfoil hat. Yeah, form a tinfoil hat, any sort of styling, right? Just tinfoil hats, because people are going to want to wear them. You know, they don't know what's going on, but tinfoil style hats, it's the way forward. Because, you know, if it was on mainstream media, they'd fucking buy it. They would. Sorry.
Yeah, there's all sorts of questions coming in the chat room. Alice has put one in. Shill, what can we do to protect ourselves from radiation? Stand in a Faraday cage all day.
Yeah, let's walk around in a Faraday cage.
You can't, can you? But what you've got to do is you've got to be of the opinion that if the person that has put this there, would they be prepared to stand in the position that you are? You know, that's what you've got to ask yourself. And it's just,
you see, Jason, that's the reason why I think there is a virus, but it's. I think for anybody to say there is no such thing as coronavirus, well, there is, because it's been around since 19 whatever.
Well, because there is, because it's in your mind. So as soon as it's in your mind, it exists.
But
it's like anything else. It's like fucking, space flight. It's in your mind. It exists. It's put in your mind. Coronavirus put in your mind. It exists. Who's gone?
We've lost Ed now.
Jason, why do you keep removing people, man? You're clumsy.
Can I just question something?
Oh, thank God for that.
Why have we been at 62 watching for about an hour now, and still at 15 thumbs up? Let's see some thumbs up in the old room there. That seems to have stuck for me. I don't know about anybody else, but it seems to have been like that for the last hour that I've just noticed.
I've got 64 watching and 14 thumbs up.
Yeah. Okay. So things are obviously not correct.
I've got 64 watching and 29 thumbs up.
So there's a difference.
Where's it going? Do you know what? You know what I think he's done? Right? He does this thing. He don't like me. Right? What I try to do is when Aidy's on one, right? He's on it. And what I try to do is I try to punctuate it with different things, you know, humorous things, and he don't like it. I don't know why he don't like it, but it makes it easier to listen to. I hope he comes back on.
He's not switched himself off, has he?
I think he has. I don't know what he did. What did I do?
Here we are.
I've just refreshed, Jason. I've got 62 watching and 30 thumbs up.
I've got 66 watching.
I'm going to refresh my page and have a look.
Right, I'm going to ring Aidy up on phone. Right, I'm going to ring Aidy up on phone. Right, I'm going to put it on speakerphone so you're all going to listen.
Okay, so I've got 65 watching and 31. Sorry, my mistake, guys. I've refreshed my page. I do apologise. But yeah. Oh, yeah. While you're there, Judy, have you read the stuff from Dr. Dan Erickson? Oh, sorry. I'll shut up. Sorry.
Oh, he's gone.
Has he fucked you off?
He's fucking.
Has he just bounced you?
Yeah. I don't know what. Do you know he's been in one of them moods all day? I've been worried about him all day. I said to my missus, he's in one of them moods, and when when I try to like lighten it up a bit and get it away from that fucking mood, it seems to rebel against that.
Is anybody that's watching or anything else close to him that could go and visit him or something? Seriously.
Well,
Jason's probably closest.
And I can't go visit him because I go. Here he goes. Hang on. He's up. Shh.
Live radio.
There's a hat for that.
If you let me back in, I'm sat here waiting. I'm backstage. I'll tell you why I fucked off.
Oh, right.
Oh.
He said to me.
Weird.
He's waiting backstage.
He's waiting backstage, and if I put him back in, he'll tell me why he fucked off. So I want everybody to,
I'll mute.
Is going on.
Right.
Aid.
Yeah, this is going to be very short and sharp.
Don't run away though afterwards.
Fuck off. Right. 11 times now, when I've tried to say something, just as I'm trying to get to something, Jason, you just cut me straight off. So there's no point in me being here. You might think it's amusing. It's nothing to do with my mood. It's annoying.
And there you go. I asked him not to run away, didn't I? So that I could address. And what I've tried to say, what I've tried to do is I always try to, like I said, when Eddie's in one of these, when Eddie's in a mood and he's got these things that he wants to get out there, I sometimes try to punctuate them with something different, right? Something a little bit different, okay? And so sometimes I don't do it right because I'm a klutz, I'm a dickhead. I smoke a fucking joint. So that's what. That's what. Well.
What should we get back to then? Where do you want to start? Where do you want to pick it up? The question still stands: is what's going on?
It is.
I was just going to say, Aid's come up with some good stuff tonight. I mean, the analogy about having fixing a puncture that he didn't have, and then because the tyre stayed up, I thought that was a really good analogy. So, like I said, you know Aid better than me. So sometimes if he's in a mood, like you said, he might act like this. But
well, look, the amount of times that I've wanted to just turn off from when Aid's been on is innumerable, and I wouldn't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything bad against him. It's great, and I just sometimes I'm a little bit klutzy. If he wants to be like that about it, it's just up to him. Listen, guys, what is going on? Let's talk about coronavirus. This is something for me and Aid to talk about together. Which probably won't happen, but vacancy. Anybody want to join?
Jason, let's carry on with the talk of the coronavirus. Just going back to before, I was going to say to you before, Yuri, Dr. Dan Erickson and a Dr. Artin Mashi. These are these two guys from Bakersfield. The Accelerated Urgent Care Facility in Kern County. And these are the two guys that have had the videos banned from Facebook. regarding their approach to the said coronavirus. And these are the same people that are promoting the vitamin D, obviously with your sunshine and getting out in the fresh air, because these guys have also stated that they want to tell people that to get outside and to mingle with people is the best way. Going back to what we were saying before, guys, about as we were kids, playing in the dirt and everything else like that and picking up germs from there. How we do it, it's how we are, and it's the facts of fear that has entered everybody's mind, that kept everybody indoors. So it's those two guys, Dr. Dan Erickson and Dr. Artem Mashi, I think it is. Have you heard of them, Uni?
How'd you spell it? How'd you spell them? Give them names. How'd you spell them? Let me write them down so I can have a look.
DANERICKSON, and the other one is Dr. DRATRINMASSIHI.
There's another doctor called what's his name?
There's a Dr. Shiva as well, because I know Adi was talking about Dr. Buttar before, but with the stuff that I've been reading of late, this guy is still pro-vaccine in the way, whereas Dr. Shiva isn't. And I'm still looking deeper into these guys. Like I say, the time, as you quite rightly said before, Jace, I do have a lot of time on my hands now, but I've been spending it online and doing a lot more research than I've ever done, because I want to try and do what I can. So the more information I get, and I'm looking at stuff in the US, I'm looking at stuff in Australia, New Zealand, and all the rest. So I'm trying to get as much information as I can to see what's going on. So I think it's a better picture when you have a look around and you see all these things. But one of the biggest things that I've noticed as well is if you follow the money, that you just see it all. You really, really do, and that's what I found out.
What about Southeast Asia? Because I've heard things like Taiwan's had no deaths whatsoever.
Look at Taiwan. Look at Africa. Look at South America. All these
Vietnam, not one case, borders China.
Yeah. But you have to look at the correlation as well, and I'm not going. I don't want to get into the same debate. I know there will be people in the chat room that do the same, and I see the correlation with the 5G. In fact, I sent a couple of people. There's a map. I'll put the link in later on of the map that I've got that shows you all the places that have got 5G at the moment and pending 5G going up. Thankfully, once again, having that information there and having a look around, you can see the correlation with the unfortunate deaths that have happened. But if you look at it's going to sound really weird because I'll put them up. I want to try and do it on a YouTube page, but from March the 21st, and you know what I was like with my first videos when I started doing live videos, I was telling you about the nighttime sky and stuff like that. It's amazing. On March the 21st, Mars and Jupiter, and for those theorists that talk about the satanic connection there, was the Corona Borealis at the same time in conjunction with that. But also, in the same time in the nighttime sky, there was a satellite, which is the only satellite that's orbiting the Earth that monitors radiation and radio waves. So at the same time that this was happening, I've still got the screenshots. I'll put them up on the page when I do it. But it just seems, people talk about connecting the dots and coincidences. It's just too close for comfort for my liking. I don't know what anybody else thinks about that, but just from the general stuff, from the early videos that I did when I first arrived in Portugal, going about the nighttime sky and how beautiful it was, and then realizing there was an app for it and realizing the situation that we were in and seeing these happening in the nighttime sky, it's too coincidental for me. I don't know what anybody else thinks.
Well, I was looking at the
Echo.
An echo's up.
We've got an echo, mate.
Me?
You're the only one
Everybody turn the mics off except Webby.
Hello? Everybody can hear me. I forgot what I was saying now. Forgot what I was saying, lads.
Well, let me just say something. Yo, Dave, stop worrying about my fucking sexual life, man. Why are you worrying about my sexual life, though? Huh.
It's probably grooming you, Taylor. It's probably an OA paedophile. He's waiting till you're 70. He's going to molest you.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
I mean, apart from us, wanting to get out and be sociable and be with our families and be with our friends and enjoy the sunshine, what does anybody else plan to do? It's like I was saying before, I'm not going to promote. I'm not promoting a channel because I don't want to do a channel. All I want to do is reach out to people and just, enjoy the time that we have and fight for what's right. That's the other thing that I want to do. It's the only thing we can do. If we all stick together and build on what we can build on. It's one of those things.
What I've found, Owen, is there's a lot of YouTube channels now that are sprouting up, and the subscribers, like me with like 300-400 subscribers, and they're pouring out top information. They're getting information from whatever sources, and these individuals with only a few hundred subscribers all over the world are putting good information out. And it's like within 12 people of you could actually get in touch with everybody within this reality just through 12 people. They pass it on to 12 people, blah 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 blah. And we've got the chance. We know that knowledge and information, we live in that age. Everything can go wild just like that. Whilst we've still got it, there's a lot of people saying, "Oh, get off Facebook." Facebook has given me all the information that I've ever needed. So why wouldn't I ride this out? Why wouldn't I ride it out until it finishes? And people say, "Why did you go on that platform? He's a shill. He's a dick. He's this. He's that." These people have got platforms with thousands, hundreds of thousands of people on. Why would I not want to get onto that platform to put my information out there? Because I'll tell you now, everybody I've spoken to, who people say are shills and everything, they are putting information out, whether they name names or not. They are talking about stuff that is going on and nobody else was talking about them. So why would you not want to talk to them and be part of that platform where you can actually interact with them? It was like Chrissy Morris was getting loads of shit the other day, and I was getting shit for speaking with him. Why would you not speak to him? He was a big player on the scene for some time. He went off, he came back. Why would you not talk to him?
Unless it's somebody who won't talk to you, like James Corbett, who never fucking talks to his fans whatsoever, unless they pay him money like an asshole.
Well, we were talking about monetization earlier on, and that's what a lot of people are doing now. They're using the situation that we have to just gain profit. I did it on Facebook. There's a New Zealand or Australian guy, the Save the World Army. And, from what he was saying, he's showing a lot of David Icke videos, a lot of other people's videos as well. And I got quite interested in what this guy was doing. But this guy's I think he's a martial artist and a DJ. But he was asking for subscriptions from people. And I questioned the reason why he was asking for subscriptions. What are people getting to join the Save the World Army? Promoting really good videos. I wasn't impolite. I wasn't trolling. I was asking the question: why are you charging people, and what are people getting for this? And never had a reply. So anytime he did a video, I would question him in the best way that I can, and I'm the happiest person ever. I would ask him, why is there a fee to pay? And never got an answer. But that's what it is. There are a lot of people that will be grateful of the situation in their sick kind of way and take advantage of it by making money. People haven't got the money to spare. Everybody's locked down. People aren't earning money. So why are people still asking for join this group, join that group? You have to pay a subscription to get, let's say the word elite privileges.
My question, Owen, is that the NHS, who had 13 billion debt wiped, Captain Tom has walked round his garden and earned them £26 million pure profit. They've also now got a text clap to such a number to donate £5. This is all pure profit for the new owners that the NHS got privatised completely in March, and nobody even realised it.
All the departments have been bought out a long time ago, privatised. Yeah. But
that was covered with partnerships. Remember?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, people didn't realise. People thought it was a great idea going to the B&Q car park, having the medical test, because it meant they didn't have to go to hospital, less queuing. What they didn't realise, it was a private entity that was in that car park running those things. It just had the NHS emblem on the side of it. You know, that was it. Just the partners of, you know.
That's what we've got. That's what we've got. We had the issues with. There was 780 million handed out to something like 11 private companies in 2015 because they were handing this money out so that the private companies could help and support the NHS. But then you have, you know, beware the Ides of March. The debts are forgiven in March, and then all of a sudden this brand new NHS starts with a clean slate, pure profit. Brilliant.
For who? For who?
And the big question is, who did they owe the debt to? Because it's them that forgave it. So who are they? Who are the new owners of the NHS?
Yeah.
I'd like to know, because if we as the people decided to take all this infrastructure back and run it for the people and try and get away from this fact where I had somebody was saying the other day, taxpayers shouldn't pay for that, the government should. I went, what? He said, taxpayers shouldn't pay it, the government should pay for it. They've got all the money. I went, they've got all our money. They've got all our money. You know, so the taxpayer is being fleeced and we just keep on voting. Somebody posted about, we were talking about consent earlier. How do they get consent? They get consent in every single way that you interact with them. When you get to the point where you're stood in front of one of these policy officers, basically saying, you can't do this, I have these rights, blah, blah, blah. Yes, this day and age, they're going to wrap you up like a chicken and put you in a van. That is where we're going to get this line drawn. Because
haven't they done that with the Mental Health Act? Haven't they changed policy? Yeah. I mean, this is one of the things I used to say before I did any sort of like live videos. I used to talk to Dave Witcher. Well, I did videos with Dave Witcher. I used to talk to him about that. I used to spend my Thursdays when I first went to Portugal listening to the Houses of Commons, Houses of Parliament doing bill passing on a Thursday afternoon. And it was amazing because the correlation between events that have been happening all over the place and the amount of bills that were being passed. And I can remember doing 2 or 3 live videos where I was speaking about this and nobody questioned me about it.
Yeah.
Nobody questioned me about it. And it was one of those things is that if you don't see what's going on underneath, you'll never know. There's so much going on that people don't understand. You know?
It's like I said, there's people on who were talking, all us who were talking now. We have beliefs. We hold these beliefs like that. But if new information comes in that questions these beliefs, we're able to go, oh, hey, hang on a minute. I used to believe this, but now I've got this. I'm going to have to think about this. Whereas people go, no, that's a load of bollocks.
Non-acceptance.
They won't accept. I have to be wrong. Because their life is going to be devastated. It's going to, I'm really just going to put a bomb.
The illusion.
The illusion of their life is going to be blown to smithereens.
Nothing else. It's the illusion. The life that person is living is an illusion. Because once they see, and I'm going to use the phrase red pill, once they take the red pill and see what's going on, it's going to be life changing for a lot of people. I mean, for me, it's gone way past that. We were saying this earlier on. AD was saying this earlier on. Is that, you know, it's something that we should use as guides more than anything else. We should use this as being a guide for people, because without enough people stopping this now, we've got to face an inevitable, which is that people are going to have, I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago about, it's not just about we're all locked in those homes, it's about those people that are being abused, whether parents, kids, partner, husband, daughter, wife, whatever, it's that. If you look at all this, if they were to turn around and say, right, we're going to open up next week, inundated, and what are they going to do to these people? Sedate them.
Well, listen, anyway, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ring, because there's a lot of people in the chat room that are worried about AIDS. So I'm going to ring his daughter, because I don't think he'll answer the phone to me. I'll ring his daughter and get her to ring him, and just to make sure that he's okay. And then I want a minute and a half off each of you of what you think we should do going forward. So I'm just going to ring Aid's daughter.
It has not been possible to connect you.
Okay, it's not been possible to connect your call, and that's the only one I've got. I'm going to ring Aida.
He's typing at the minute in the WhatsApp. I don't know if I'm going to get a text here.
Richard Righteous, ring him and apologise, Jace. If I've got
Jason, go, please.
Huh? If I got to apologise for it, I'd apologise. I'm not going to. I'm not going to do that. I think it's something that's probably going to be sorted out between me and him. But I think this is over. Anyway, so like a minute apiece. So I'm going to start from my left, which would be Webber.
Is that your left, really? Which is your left, mate? All right, I'm just checking. Just checking.
There you see.
What we should be doing is talking. I mean, if you've got any questions, it doesn't matter how childish the questions are. I've asked very childish questions to very intelligent people, and they've not been able to answer them because children just ask straightforward questions that go straight. I don't want to see the flowers. I don't want to see the sunshine and lollipops. Just give it me. Just tell me why you're doing that. Why is this happening? Why is all this coincidence happening when I don't do coincidence? All the dots are joining like fuck if you bother to look. If you're not going to look, you not only will you find nothing, but you'll just crack on watching your box sets, watching Netflix, watching Disney Plus, until they say, listen, we're going to start opening a few shops. Some pubs and that will open up, but it's only going to be takeaways and things like that. But if you want to get back to normal, here's your vaccine program. Here's your immunity passport. If you start seeing these things, just know in history, when we go down this path, it doesn't end well for people. And I know there will be a hell of a percentage of people who would go and get on that cattle car now and be taken to a camp to keep them safe from a COVID-19 that cannot be tested for and is not killing massive amounts of people. Just isn't. So for me, it's about thinking and talking, because people can't unhear something, and grow some balls. I've been called a nutter for 10 years, and those people are coming back to me now and saying, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? Fucking tell them. Just tell them straight. This is what I read. This is what they said they wanted to do. There's no making stories up. There's no tinfoil hat. These are white papers. This is what they write to each other and say, this is what we want. What do you think? Let's have a think tank. What does that think tank think? This is all they do. How to manipulate us. Ed Benet's propaganda. It's simple. We're a very easy species. Just talk. Just talk, people.
Just talking. Okay, Taylor, as brief as you can be, my my friend.
And another thing.
Yeah, I did that to Shill last night, and we went on for another half hour. So maybe I should stop trying to do that. Just one more thing. But yeah, I really can't say any better myself. What Webby just said, it's exactly right. We need to just people just need to talk. The only thing I want to add though is that some people just, like I said before, if they don't know you personally, they're unlikely to listen to anything you have to say. Say you put a link, they're not gonna listen. They're not gonna click it. Like sometimes I'll write a big paragraph or multiple paragraphs, and they'll just see the top line and they'll just think, no, don't listen to this person, and then just start calling you names and shit. Also, hope you get well, 80. Aid's a cool guy.
Owen, give me a minute.
A minute, okay. Yeah. My years here in Portugal haven't been the best. But you know what? I'm still here. I'm still positive because we can do this. I don't care what anybody says. We can do this because we've already got that hive mind. We can do this. Love you. One love always. Cheers, Jason.
Thanks a lot, Owen. And Chill, what about you, mate? Last word for you, pal.
Well, clearly starting, don't fall out with your co-hosts by interrupting them. That's a good start. And always go out there. Everybody, I keep telling you, go and do videos, yeah? No matter, if you've got a microphone, a phone or whatever, do videos, because the more people are doing them, the more we start to control these forums. All these are owned by the corporate scum. They're controlling the mass attention that it's getting, really. That's why we're seeing all these people, the shills with 300, 400, 500,000, 1.5 million subscribers, right? So we need to start taking control of this. There's some people in this chat box who are sub to me that are doing videos. Some have just started. Keep telling people, please, even if you're just mirroring videos, but if you got a lady's voice and it's a nice lady's voice, yeah, men will listen to that far more than they're going to listen to me, yeah. And then share, and also try and get your neighbours and all of that. Go and leaflet. It's how much effort you're going to put into it, isn't it? If everybody else is waiting for just those few channels they're watching, and they think that we're going to win this war alone, then we're not. We've got to become an army, and hopefully, sooner or later we'll all get together and maybe go and wake up one whole town, yeah. Because if you wake up one town, you then got a load of people to send to the next town, and then all of a sudden people start going, oh, do you about that town? They've all kicked all their civil servants out. They're not having anything to do with government, and they're now working as a community. And that'd be my best advice for everybody, to start really getting together in this and breaking it down and breaking them down.
Brilliant. Breaking them down is what we need to do. We need to do that in any simple way that we can. Big thanks to everyone for joining us tonight. It's probably not been the Raconteurs news that you've been expecting, but it's been the one that it has been. So take care. We'll see you again very soon. Ta-ra a bit.
Do that, guys.
Guys.